You gonna play music?
Yeah.
Call the meeting to order. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 2, approval of the minutes. Dan, I had 2 edits on page 5 of 37. On my motion, it was to be transferred from 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6 to Lot 4. And that shows up in 2 places. Any other comments?
Make a motion to approve with the modifications that Mr. Fitzgerald just requested.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Yeah.
Communications, none, still true?
Actually got one today, and I'll just mention it. I don't have it for you, but basically it was a letter from the county regarding the Varga, the last name was Selenka Bro. It was the property on Lakewood Lane that we took up where they had to do a land disturbance permit from the county, and so the county did grant it with a number of conditions, and we had some of the similar conditions that we had put on it as well.
Okay.
So that's now approved.
Okay, thank you. Item 4, unfinished business, none. Item 5, new business, A, Gerald and Sheena Gamble, T's, 1988585 Dorchester Court, Brookfield, Wisconsin, owner by Carl Tomich, Westridge Builder, agent, reconsideration, possible action on the request for approval of a certified survey map to combine 2 existing properties at W303 and 2582 Maple Avenue.
Very simple. This is the former Kim's Lakeside. The property, or the building on that site has been removed. They're proposing to build a home on that site. In order to do that, the lot was made up of parts of 2 other lots, and as is tradition, or required by the county and the town, is they have to combine those into 1 lot to eliminate the line so they can be compliant with the property. As part of that, they did dedicate an additional 8.25 feet along Maple Avenue, giving us the full 33 feet. And I still haven't received any comments from the county regarding this, so anything that we do would be subject to any comments from the county. Recommending approval subject to the county comments. They had to change the extraterritorial plat jurisdiction to the city of Delafield, and then addition of a mortgagee statement if there is a mortgage on the property. I don't know if there is or not on that, so that's it.
Any questions?
Straightforward as they get. I make a motion that we recommend approval of the CSM dated March 17th, 2021, subject to the incorporation of any comments from Waukesha County Parks and Land Use Department, changing the extraterritorial plat jurisdiction community to the city of Delafield, and the addition of a mortgagee statement if there is a mortgage on the property.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Item 5B, Hawes Shalleck Center for Animals by Andrew Dominic. Fast signs, reconsideration, possible action on a request for a sign approval and sign variance in accordance with section 170810 of the town code to allow a sign to be placed 33 feet from the existing traveled center line of County Highway C. And you should all have some additional materials outside of what came in your packet from Hawes. Tim?
Okay, this one has kind of made a circuitous route to get here because they initially came into our building inspector for a sign permit, and he and I talked about that, and the request was to be 33 feet off the highway, and I said, well, that's county highway, so they got to check with the county. The ultimate right-of-way for Highway C is basically 100 feet wide or 50 on the side, and so normally, and in our code, we state that that sign would have to be 5 feet off of the ultimate right-of-way on that. But they went to the county, and the county came back and said they're okay with the sign being at 33 feet. So I don't really have any reasons for that, other than that's the email that I got back, was they're okay with the sign at 33 feet. However, we still have jurisdiction on that as well, so the request was then made for a variance from what would have been 55 feet off the highway to be at 33 feet off the highway. And so they made that application. The sign that you see here, the 48 by 36 inch sign, would sit on the south side of the driveway. It's set back a little bit. I gave you some pictures. It basically sits, I think pictures of my car is there. It basically sits like right in front of my car. So that's where, I just wanted to give you an idea of where that would be, where that sign would end up being. I did ask that they add Town of Delafield, which is a requirement in our code, and that's what you have in front of you. I appreciate that, whoever brought that in, thank you on that. So there'll just be 4x4 posts that are put there. I do have some concerns. If anyone has driven that, if you drive from I'll start the easy way. If you drive from the south to the north, you're up on a hill somewhat, and then you can actually see the driveway a little bit as you're going to the north. So it's probably easier to turn in from going northbound, turning left into the site, because you have at least you can see where the driveway is. If you're coming from the north to the south, you're coming up a hill. And I've been there a couple of times where, the cars are following me very closely, shall we say. I knew it was coming up, so I put on a blinker, but it comes up fast. You don't really see it, then you're on the hill, and there it is. And the county required them to have a deceleration lane. It's really not a lane. It just cuts off a little bit so you can get off the highway a little bit, not a full car length or anything like that. But the driveway's quite large, so if someone was coming fast like I was, I could make a pretty fast turn and get safely off the highway without getting rear-ended. But it's just a concern that I had. I suggested that maybe they look into trying to get an advanced warning sign of some sort. I've seen signs that are out there that are diamond-shaped with, just a hidden driveway up ahead, or something like that would help to understand, hey, this is coming up. Dan mentioned that, and this happens all the time, everybody's got GPS. Maybe the GPS will tell them, in 1,000 feet, you got to turn right, which is all well and good if you know what 1,000 feet is on that. But that's a concern I have. But in regards to the actual allowance of the sign, we can grant the variance. I don't have a problem with putting it at 33 feet if the county's okay with it. I'm concerned about someone coming up too fast from going southbound, coming up too fast and slowing down quickly. And like I say, there's trucks, there's cars moving faster than the speed limit out there. And without, the cops out there all the time, we're gonna continue to have that problem. I think the board has heard all about that over the years, so.
But the sign will, if anything, will help that issue.
The sign will help,
Yeah.
yeah. And once people get familiar with the location of that facility, then they'll understand that I gotta slow down before I get there. But there will be, obviously, there's gonna be some activities there that the public is gonna attend, and possibly, be concerned. But the county didn't have any concerns with it, so I'm not saying that we should just go with what the county says, but I think if we can have them, I don't want to necessarily make that a condition of the approval, but I think it's highly recommended that some additional signage just going southbound be added, if we can get them to do that.
Do
And I
road
would-
signs like that fall underneath the maximum square footage of signage allowed for a property, or is it because it's a traffic sign, is it exempt from that?
If it's a traffic sign, it would be exempt. It would be something that the county would put in. It wouldn't be a Hawes sign that would say Hawes is coming up. It would just be a sign about
Hidden drive.
some kind of a hidden driveway or a T in the road or something coming up to warn them
Okay.
of that. So it's a traffic sign versus an advertising sign.
Okay.
And they have plenty of frontage, so the sign that they're putting in meets that requirement.
I think
know-
from
I know
a-
Lynn is here too, if you have questions. from Hawes.
Oh, I was just gonna say, from a safety standpoint too, the thing to also think about is I don't believe there's any ingress or egress directly to the north or south immediately from there. So if somebody overshoots it, the concern would be a wide turn on a county highway, which I think is something to think about as well.
I would hope that no one does that there.
Yes, what's it?
I would advise against the
but
wide
you're
turn.
right,
I would go up
I would
to-
advise
I
that
would go
too.
up to Wisconsin Heroes and turn around, but.
Yeah. But if you're going the other way, there's, I think there's one driveway to the west, and then there's, I don't even know, maybe there isn't a driveway to the west, maybe one to the east, and then you're at 18.
There's a subdivision to the,
Right.
on the other side.
Oh, that's right, there's a
Mhm.
subdivision to the.
But all of that exists now. The sign only helps.
Right, that's what I was trying to say.
Okay, any other questions?
I've got a question with respect to the vinyl graphics. Does anyone know what the composition is of the vinyl? Is it intended for outdoors?
It is, yes, yeah. 7-year outdoor.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve as proposed, 33 feet off traveled center line to the easternmost portion of the sign post. It looks like we have the town of Delafield on there, so I don't know if we necessarily need to state that, but.
You can just maybe state the date that, what's the date on
What is
here?
the date on the sign? 5/10/21?
That was actually, forgot to update the date, it was from the day.
6/1,
Yeah.
Yeah.
dated 6/1/21.
I'll second.
Do we want to couple it with a recommendation to get some warning signs if the county's willing?
I'll second.
All right, any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item 5C, Austin Babich Pyramid Network Services LLC, agent for Verizon Wireless Equipment Owner, consideration and possible action on a request to remove and replace antennas on a communication tower owned by SBA and located at S12 W28925 Summit Avenue. Tim?
Okay, this tower is, if you're familiar with it, it's at the south end of Highway G, set back on the Tessman Farm, kind of behind the house a little bit. You have to go through the Tessman property to get to the facility. Yeah, it's been there probably, I wanna say 18 years or so. The tower itself is owned by SBA, which is separate from all the users. Verizon is a current user on it. They have the antennas on it already, and this is basically a change out of the antennas on that tower, as well as some changes within the equipment shelter. Now, each of those, the facility at the ground, you don't see it, but they actually have separate buildings for each of the users, and so there wouldn't be any additional, my understanding, no additional equipment outside that's gonna be placed as new. It'll all be done inside. There is certain requirements for their application, and they met those application requirements. I don't think it meets the definition of substantial modification, which is it's a state statute defined term, because it's not gonna raise the tower more than 20 feet or increase the width of the tower by 20 feet or more, or increase the area of the equipment cabinet more than 2,500 square feet. So, since it's not a substantial change, then our code just requires an approval by the Plan Commission and the town board on that. And a representative of Verizon or?
Actually, from Pyramid.
From Pyramid, okay, it's here. Pyramid is the entity that made the application on behalf of Verizon.
Are there any, if it's not a substantial change, are there any standards we would apply?
They don't really have any standards to that, no.
Okay.
But I mean, it really, the laws on the wireless communication facilities were changed quite a bit by the state.
Right.
In order for us, we can't really impose a lot of conditions onto these communication facilities. So,
All we need is a motion to approve then?
pardon?
Just a motion to approve?
Motion
Okay.
to approve, and then it does get sent to the board, so it's a motion to
Recommendation.
approve by us. We have to approve it, and it gotta be a
Okay.
recommendation to the board on that.
I make a motion that we make a recommendation to the town board to approve the installation of the replacement antennas on the Testman Tower for Verizon Wireless.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item 5D, Henny and Brenda Metlube, N9W29432 Thomas Road, Delafield, Wisconsin. Rate consideration and possible action on a request for approval of a certified survey map to split a 10-acre parcel of land into two parcels at the southeast corner of Elmhurst Road, County Highway G, and Northview Road. Tim?
It's Thames Road.
Hmm?
Thames Road. You said Thomas Road.
Oh, yeah, okay. It's a holdover.
So this is the parcel is located on the corner of Northview and County Highway G. It's a 10-acre parcel that was created by the plat that was in 2001. The plat was 33 lots, and our conditional use that was approved prior to the preliminary plat indicated 34 lots. And that was based on our code that, in our PUD codes, our density factor was 1 unit per 120,000 square feet. Not, and 3 acres would be like 134,000 something. So basically, if you do a PUD, you would get you could potentially get an additional lot, when you have a lot of acres. So when I looked at this and prepared the report, I looked at that and said, oh, we approved 34 lots. They're just coming in to get that 34th lot. On Friday, the homeowners association came in along with one of the persons in the development group came in and said that they questioned, the whole issue of 33 or 34 because they had recalled that they were only allowed 33, and that's why they platted it at 33. I did some research before they came in and realized that the county had just before literally days before we approved the preliminary plat, they came in and said the county, because the county has jurisdiction, there's Eder Lake, so they have shoreline jurisdiction. They came in and they basically said they can only have 33. So the plat was created with 33. So we're at a point right now where there's some, and I did talk to Jason on Friday, and he was gonna do some research, and he was not able to finish it up today, he said. But he wanted to kind of follow up on what he was given, and that the letter that the town received back then as to why 33 got chosen. Part of it is because the zoning only allowed that, but he wanted to look into that a little further. So there's definitely some confusion as to, is there another lot allowed or not? I am recommending, instead of my staff recommendation, I'm recommending that we table this until we can get some more definite information. The issue will be is if the county says, oh, you can have 34 for some reason, if they come up with something, then the homeowners association or the owners are gonna have to figure out who gets that 34th lot. There is room in the subdivision to add additional lot or lots to that, but we don't want to start setting any kind of precedent that things change over 20 years, that we can just add lots. But they might come back and say 33 is the number, and they're more restrictive than us, then we're going to stick with 33, and this CSM would not be approved. So instead of taking action and then conditioning it, I would just recommend that we table it. I can answer questions before we do that, but if we just table it, and we'll see what comes up next month.
You do have the outstanding question here on the shared driveway. Did you receive an answer back on that?
No. Well, I shouldn't say that. I did talk to the owner about that. I take that back. I talked to the owner, and they were willing to put that other driveway on Northview, because they're gonna have a shared driveway off a GB. He had no reason, he just said his surveyor said that would be a good idea. And I said, well,
It's a county highway, right? So the
it's
county
a
might
county highway, but
have a view on how many driveways?
Pardon?
Would the county have a view on how many driveways should come out?
They
Or-
would most likely allow it.
Okay.
Yeah. But why would we want, I mean, you'd have to have a private driveway agreement for that little private driveway. It makes no sense if we can get other driveway off of Northview to that property. I don't see why, if it does get split, I don't see why they can't come off of Northview. Or if they wanna come off of Northview on the 10-acre lot, they could do that as well.
Hmm.
There's driveways right across the street. Claire Dundon lives right there, and, there's another owner just to the west, to the east, that has a driveway right close. So, they might wanna fit it between some of the nice trees there, but nevertheless, I think that, I'd rather not have another private driveway agreement with a shared driveway. That's just, if we can avoid them, that might be better in the long run. Does that answer your question?
It does,
Long
thank
answer
you.
to a short question.
Sometimes it just goes that way.
Any other questions?
Second.
He's gotta,
Oh,
you gotta ask
shoot.
him. Don't ask me.
Oh, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Why not, right? Hi, my name's Ellen Bender and I live on Huckleberry Way in the town of Delafield. And, so this proposal that you're doing, is this like one house per acre? Is that the
This-
proposal that's
no.
on the table right now?
This one here is in a subdivision, it's 10 acres, and they're gonna split it into 2 lots, like a 5.28 lot and a 4.74.
So it's for 2 houses?
Yeah.
Are you saying?
Well, the proposal of this particular person was they wanted to split that 10-acre lot into 2 pieces and then I don't know if they're gonna put a house on it or not. I would assume.
Oh, okay, cause,
You-
this is my, only second time I've ever been to this, in here other than voting. And I'm kind of amazed that all this stuff goes on, and I've lived here for 20 years and I have no idea.
Well, we're on
And
YouTube, too.
I seriously didn't have any idea that I could even be a voice in it, so I wanna thank you guys for getting the word out there. So to make sure that I know what's going on in my community, and I'm gonna spread the word that other people know too. So
Okay.
thank you very much.
Okay, we have a request for a motion.
Motion to table.
Oh, motion for me to.
Nope,
Wow.
nope,
No,
nope,
no.
nope, motion to table. Yeah,
Second.
Just a table.
Any further comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Discussion, none. Item 7, next meeting is July 6th. I won't be here.
I'm
So,
sorry, great night, thank you.
will we have a quorum, I assume?
I won't be there either, unless I don't think we can appear remotely, otherwise I would.
No. So we'll be down 2, but
I have to check, I may not either, actually.
I'm trying to think, I thought there was something that had to be on the 6th, but
something definitive? Could we move it a week? Well, we can't move it a week.
no, let's just leave it. I can't remember what it is, so maybe it's nothing.
Are we allowed to ask, I guess, prior to that though, discussion with Thomas Farmers, do we know where it's sitting right now, or what's going on this week?
Not on the
No, we
agenda.
can't send it, okay.
Just- I mean,
So it's July 6th.
ooh, do we have a quorum if something comes in on the 6th?
I think we do right now. I mean, Dan can follow up and make sure that we do.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if
Just leave it on the-
5 of the
Yes.
7 make
Just
it,
leave it on the 6th.
yeah,
Sure.
we can leave it on the 6th.
Yeah.
Okay.
If there is something.
And if there is nothing, we just cancel the meeting. If there is something, Ron can share or Ed can share.
Yeah, okay.
That's great.
Item 8,
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.